Hey Tara, so glad to have you with us today. Thanks for joining me for a chat. I've been looking forward to hearing about the engine, about your work as the laboratory operations manager at the Engine Accelerator. And it'd be great if you could tell us all about what the engine is what you do.
Yeah, so right now at the Engine Accelerator, we are a company that houses tough tech, small startups, and we're a large facility with 5 floors. We house startups that are working in technology, engineering, whether that's a fabrication and machining, or it can also be lab companies as well. We have a lot of biotechnology companies. Right now, we currently have 93 companies in our building. And like I said, it's a large facility with 5 floors. We have a lot of floor plans that we've always been working hard to keep up with. And my role here really is just to manage all of, basically as if they're tenants of this building, make sure that everyone has the resources accessible to them to be able to do all of their either biotechnology work or whether it's engineering work. I'm here just to support them in all the startups and all the work that they do here. But yeah, that's just an intro on me.
That's so cool. I didn't realize that it was such a large building. So 5 floors, it's a lot, 94 different startups, really interesting. The engine exists for a while now, right? Is it an MIT endeavor?
So we were founded technically in 2017, and it came from an idea coming from the president of MIT and Robert Kraft at the time, wanting to create a space for all of these entrepreneurs coming out of MIT, for them to build their technology, and their tough tech is how we explain it, and giving them the resources. You know, you're coming straight out of academia, and you may not have the means to have all of the resources at the hand like you do in a lab at a school. So really the engine came from building that infrastructure, not only the infrastructure, but also providing the capital and the support in basically coaching these new companies, new teams coming out of school, and how to make a product that could go onto the market, or a new therapy or a new technology, whatever it may be. So it started as an idea from MIT, and then it turned into a much larger space, and here we are today.
That's awesome. So we could kind of compare it to a co-working space, right? This is a building with various floors, various areas, rooms. I'd be curious to know how you divide and manage the operations of the actual physicality of the engine. And were you working with floor plans before you found Ryan? How do you go about this, this whole operation?
Previously, when we were building out this facility, that was really the big project when I got hired in about a year ago. We were building out a large facility, and we had the floor plans available on CAD files, but not everyone always has accessibility or training on CAD. So that I wouldn't say was really the floor plan we were using. I would say the way we were planning and strategizing our build out really came from just drawings on a wall. And we'd use a marker and draw on things as we wanted to place things. And as you could tell, it would probably, you'd run out of space pretty quick. And if you want to change something after writing it, you didn't really get a chance to undo that. So we never really worked with a floor plan software before this. We had tried a couple of demos, and really it's such a unique space, the way we're set up. It's not just office space. We have lab space. We have engineering space. So the uniqueness of it really made it hard for us to find a good platform to build our floor plans on. And so that was how we came on to Ryan, and it made it much more easy to customize exactly what we were building out and what we're moving, and everything that has gone into our floor plans has just been made a lot easier.
That's great. So who on the team is using Ryan, and what's their workflow? How do you use it on a daily basis, once in a while?
Yeah, I would say we use it a few times a week, maybe several times a week. We Mainly use it for equipment booking. So when I say equipment booking, we have tons of resources in this facility that people have access to, but because we have around 900 people in this building, people need to be able to make reservations on all those pieces of equipment. So we use the floor plan as like the foundation of what where our equipment is located, and then people log into, we use that floor plan and export it, and then we use that in our booking system so people can look at our floor plans, reference it, and see where equipment is located so that they can reserve it. So the main users, or the main people that use Rayon right now, is our equipment manager. He is the one who's moving all of our equipment, and if we're moving furniture around as well, he's a main user. And then we do have some office users as well. When things need to shift around, they'll use it and edit floor plans as needed.
Cool. So you track the different locations of furniture, export floor plans, and use them in your booking management platform. That's really awesome. So the first thing was setting up the facility in Rayon, right? The different floors. And then once you have the wall enclosure, the different way that the floor plan is built, the only thing you kind of move around or use on a daily basis is the actual equipment. Is that correct?
That is correct. And sometimes, I mean, we don't move walls per se, but sometimes we do change access a little bit. And if we need to gray out an area, Robbie is our equipment manager. So his use case is definitely a lot of the facility day-to-day stuff of we move things daily. So honestly, he has to play a bit of catch up every week on making those updates for all of our 900 tenants to be able to see.
When there are new tenants, so new startups coming in the engine, do they typically just are assigned to a space that you pre-assign them to, or do they get to take a look at floor plans, choose what would be, adequate to their needs? How would that go?
Yeah, so they get a tour of the space in person, and I think that's the main deciding factor of where they pick space. It also depends on what type of science or technology that they do. We try to group everyone that does similar work together just so that there's no issues with incompatibilities and people running into contamination issues specifically in the lab. But they do have access to looking at floor plans. If someone is unable to come in person, sometimes we have founders that are off fundraising in other countries sometimes. And they just need to see a quick floor plan of the space, and they like to know where the equipment is located in regards to the benches that are available. So those are times where we would send a floor plan over so they can just kind of get a better understanding of what our facility looks like.
Cool. So you're using the collaborative set of tools with some of your users, but not so much within the team.
That's correct.
Okay. And another question for you. Did you at any point build a custom library in Rayon with the different equipment that you're talking about?
Yes, we did make a custom library. I was really bad at naming items just because I was making so many blocks that I started to run out of names.
Yeah.
But we made quite a bit of a library just because it is such a unique space, like I mentioned, and we constantly are bringing in very different pieces of equipment that we've never worked with before and have not been in our floor plan previously. So we're constantly putting new things in, and then it's really nice because once we start to realize we like a piece of equipment, we tend to buy that equipment again. And so it's nice to have it saved somewhere so we don't have to start the whole process over again. I can just go quickly to the library and go right to that piece of equipment that I know I had already added a month earlier.
Awesome. So you have its dimensions and all the information. Do you even use the properties?
We do use the properties, just like the names. That's really the main thing that we use for.
Yeah, cool. All right. So usually I'd ask, if you were using different softwares before Rayon, what would be the benefit of Rayon over those? But it sounds like Rayon was actually kind of the first floor plan software that you found adequate to your needs. Anything else you want to share about the engine before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I want to emphasize to people who are looking for floor plan software, if you're looking for something that you can really make your own. And I don't think anyone can fit into one type of box, and the space that they're looking at is not just like one type of box. Everyone has a very unique space, especially at the scale we're at. And so I really did enjoy being able to go into every single detail and be able to customize it to exactly what we needed at the engine. It made it so much easier. And the fact that you can upload PDFs and start editing from there, it was quite a few hours that I had saved from my time. I wish we had demoed sooner. It was really great. So if anyone's out there looking for software and you think that you have a space that's too different and it doesn't fit into the regular mold, I think this is the one for you.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing that and saying that. Much appreciated, Tara. All right. So thanks so much for your time. Genuinely.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Tara. Bye for now.
Thank you.